Balls, motherfucker. Yeah, that's right. Special agent balls to you, motherfuckers. You too. What's up, bitches? Fuckface chode. Dick smuggler. Dick tucker. Cunt. No, these are not adjectives that I only use to describe possible douchebag. These are just things to let you know if you have small kids in the room and you don't like adult language. Actually, no, you know what? No. You want to leave them in the room. You know why? Because all Special Agent Balls says it's okay. And I'm self-appointed. So this is YouTube. I can make up whatever I want. This is the my stalwart Centennial IPA. God, it's a great beer. And not expensive either, like most of these retarded IPAs. What's up, guys? What are we talking about today? Well, I would like to just talk about some straight steel shit, but first, I have to address something. Now, as being the newly appointed captain of the HRC police, there are a few things that I need to cover because we have a member of the knife community in violation of a lot of laws, a lot of balls laws, okay? But before I get to that, got my trusty notepad here so I don't forget anybody. I need to give my thank yous, my big thank yous to Pete from Said Nada, my big thank you to Vinny of Nero Knives. He's gone again. I don't know where he keeps vanishing to. Probably stripping again. Nick from Sess23. Steve or Patty from Patty's Potato Peelers. Slicey Dicey. All the guys that have supported my channel. I appreciate you guys so much. Specifically, Pete and Vinny. This channel would not be here if it wasn't for you guys. Yeah. I have to always give those guys a proper shout out. And yeah, so channels. I do this every time. I'm going to try not to blast through them. Channels that you need to stop this video for right now and go check out. If you do not already subscribe to them, will be In the Pocket, Banner 24/7, Blade Banner, Outpost 76, Woodland Tactical, Big Red EDC, Love Them Knives. I don't know how you know who he is. Alchemy 1. If you don't know who he is, you need to get some help. Don't let the HRC police find out you don't know who these motherfuckers are, okay? Because I'll personally be writing you a goddamn ticket. Don't know who these guys are. Tomo Saying Outdoors, obviously Patty's Potato Peelers, Slicey Dicey, Stas23, my boy, Blue Collar Survival. Yo, speaking of which, everybody go to his fucking page and put balls where the fuck is sales guy, okay? Because he's done one of the best fucking, that parody video he did. It's like one of the greatest ever. I have my own fucking section. So I thought that was awesome. I literally got a whole section dedicated to making fun of me. Yeah. All those channels, if you don't know who they are, go subscribe. I got 3 new channels that I want y'all to go check out if you haven't checked out yet. I'm looking for I Heart Knives, Mike at I Heart Knives, Alex's Knife Box, and my good buddy, Bama Knife Guy. He's got a channel now too. And he's still recovering from his dick replacement. So go give him some support, give him some subs. I've just laid out for you some of the best, and DCS, Daily Carry Solutions. He's another one of my buddies. Go check him out too. I've laid out, whatever kind of knife guy you are, I've just laid out channels that you can find your perfect fucking knife channel for. So, that being said, before I get into the video, because now that I've been labeled head of, captain of the HRC police, I have duties to perform. And a certain gentleman, I can't remember his name, I think it's Apostle Douchebag or Douchey Apostle, something like that. Some self-righteous wannabe hypocritical fuckface decided he wanted to make his stale old ass relevant again, and decide to pop in on this conversation. But just like everybody else that's got in on this conversation that I have to go after, they've broken one of the rules of being a YouTube HRC policeman, and that is in the YouTube knife community of which I police. And that is not doing their fucking homework. That is listening to whatever their little fucking girlfriends and butt buddies yapping in their ear, getting on their fucking channel and announcing to the world that they have something to say, and they're always missing some facts. I went through the video and wrote these things in like the first 15 minutes. I literally had to write this shit down Because that whole fucking video is just this. You know what this is like, man? I don't know how many people watch this. Y'all ever seen Old Yeller? Me doing this is like the last scene in, like the second to last scene in Old Yeller. Like I got to take this old dog out back and shoot him because he's got rabies right now. Like, this is what this feels like. It's what it feels like I'm doing right now. Because this guy, I mean, goddamn, you disabled the comments. Jesus, talk about fucking preachy. Talk about a one-sided argument, man. You make, you know, for someone who sits there and preaches, quite literally preaches, the good word of the Lord. You certainly have a knack for making Christians look fucking horrible, my friend. You did not portray your fellow followers in a good light. That's all I can say. Sitting there blasting out a bunch of bullshit that was incorrect and then disabling the comments when people had something to say to you is pretty fucking sheepish. It's cowardly. I mean, at least I take my hits like a man. Let's see. I mean, first off, I think it's fucking hilarious that the guy who's a knife reviewer is talking about how we as knife testers need to take a step back. And if you notice in the video, he goes, well, this made me take a good hard look in the mirror. Did it? Or was it my video where I put where I gut checked every single reviewer out there that had some shit to say about me or Outpost or anybody who's doing cut tests and Rockwell testing to let everybody know that the data that I'm basing a knife on, I've never recommended or not recommended a knife. All the data I put forward is objective. It is what it is. I don't give a shit either way. The reviews that reviewers put out affect this, because people want to say that it's going to affect the sales of a company. Well, reviewers affect the sales of a company. We all know that. Just like I pointed out, we all know about the Shabazz effect. We all know what happens when a reviewer says nice things or bad things about a knife. And so a good portion of those are always subjective. So, is that why you feel that way? Apostle douchebag? Is that why? Did you really just magically take a good hard look in the mirror? Is that what it is? Yeah, guys. I mean, man, fuck me. He went through, so what did he say? We started testing to go after knife companies. He said a relatively new channel. I'm going to assume he's talking about me. No one's going after no fucking channels, man. I grab cardboard and I sharpen knives and I cut test it to give relative cut test values to something everybody at home can relate to. I make simple, repeatable tests. No one's going after any testing companies. Like I said a million times, cut testing happened. Then we went looking for the Rockwell results because certain knives didn't perform like they should or they were supposed to. That's where it was. Yet again. How many times I got to repeat this? Let's see. He starts talking about. Here's the funny thing. The guy has no idea who Kurt actually was. He starts talking about this random dude who hit up me and was like, hey, where I work, we have a Rockwell tester and I can go get some Rockwell numbers, and the guy had no experience or anything, which is fucking horseshit. Kurt's been doing Rockwell testing. He's been a machinist and a metal worker for like 30 goddamn years. Matter of fact, he's been working in metal as a machinist and doing Rockwell testing and PMI and all this and machining for longer or as long as Mr. Chode Postle has been out of the steel industry. So he's been doing it up until present day, where this douchebag is talking about when he stopped 30 fucking years ago. Which is cracking me the fuck up. Saying he doesn't know who Kurt is because he sits there and says the guy had no the guy has no expertise, and then he quotes a comment Kurt says, and then says whoever that guy was, he has no clue. He's obviously never ran a Rockwell machine before. He's thinking that they're two different people, which is like, all right. What else? Let's see. Data was proven incorrect. Wrong again. Data's been proven. All our Rockwell testing has been proven, and the cut testing is about to get proven because Alchemy One and the rest of us and members of the community have got some money together, and we're sending knives to go get capture tested for edge retention results. The HRC testing has been verified by Manly Knives, Tuya Knives, Kaiser Knives, Benchmade. There's an issue with the Spyderco knife that we have right now. Oh wait, hold on. Sorry about that. Cat came in, had to hit him with some elbow therapy. Can't let that cat get wise, you know what I mean? What was I saying? What the fuck? What did he say? Oh yeah, our data was proving it correct. Like I said, the HRC results, they've been verified by like 7 different companies. He talked about Brad's. He went to Brad's heat treat. Brad he confirmed everything Kurt does. Seen the machine, he knows the process, he knows how to Rockwell test because he's been doing it for 20 goddamn years. Had 3 knives tested. 2 of them were identical. 1 was inconclusive or erroneous, as you like to say. 1 was labeled erroneous because it got fucking 10 different results. It is what it is. It's horseshit. It's been verified. It's going to be verified. Kurt got a Rockwell tester in his house now. So you got that one. We've got the ones that is bullshit. It's just horseshit. Just talking out of his ass. What else? Kurt's company was on the letterhead of the Rockwell results. First off, dumb shit. That was a PMI test. That was not. Second off, that's not where Kurt works. That's the company of the PMI tester, you dumb fuck. This is what I mean. Like, I don't even know if I want to go any further. Like, that right there. That snippet right there of him talking about the company Kurt works for was on the letterhead of the PMI. Well, he said HRC results. It's really PMI. Guy, that snippet right there, I had me fucking rolling. That just goes to show how fucking arrogant, pretentious, and just how fucking uneducated you are about what's actually happening. You could have gotten all this info right out the horse's mouth if you'd have just emailed, phone called, direct messaged any of the guys doing this in the crew. That's all you had to do. If you were so concerned with what was going on, all you had to do is reach out. I'm the most easily reachable guy in the entire fucking YouTube community. My address is on some of the videos. I don't even cross out the address on the packages when I did the unboxing of the Para 3. I am so easy to get a hold of. And you chose to sit there and get on your soapbox and condemn guys for cut testing and Rockwell testing knives, saying that we're condemning other companies. like the most backwards, like talking out the side of your neck, dumb shit. Like, I don't even know. Do I even need to go on after that? That just shows you how uneducated you are on this subject, man. Point blank. You're old dog, man. Go retire. Go sell cars. Go preach. Go do something that you're good at. Okay? Don't get out of this. Get out of this. Get out of it. Leave. Nobody wants you here. All you're doing is just pissing people off and spreading disinformation. That's the reason that video's got like 300 thumbs downs. It's got more thumbs down than it does thumbs up. Like 4,000 views on that video last time I checked. And there's 500 thumbs up and thumbs down between the two. 25% of the people that... No, I'm sorry. Much less than that. I'm sorry, that would be 1,000. Remember, my math is never my strong point, guys. And then what else are you talking about? Kurt made a comment that he paraphrased incorrectly. Kurt made a comment on Instagram saying that any teenager with half an hour worth of training can do a Rockwell testing, because they can. It's a very simple process. It's not complicated. I've explained it before. And he said that was completely false. He then turns around and says that the summer of his senior year, he became he got a job as a quality inspector in a heat treating facility. And he prepared between 800 and 1,200 Rockwell tests a day. So I'm assuming 10-hour shift, man, between 80 and 120. He cut, prepared, and tested 800 to 1,200 samples a day, while also supervising other operators who were doing about 60 tests a day. Let that sink in. Here's what got me. Every hour, so I don't know how many tests per hour, but basically each one of these operators would do about 50 or 60 tests a day. And every hour, he would get at least one mistake. So somewhere in the ballpark of one out of, between all the other operators that were there, out of every 60 samples, one was flawed. Meanwhile, his 800 to 1,200 a day, no mistakes ever. The man is flawless. Words matter, bro. The Elliott sisters taught me that. Words matter. What a pretentious fuck. Then he goes into talking about the proper anvil, why he doesn't do edge retention tests, and blade thickness, how it affects how thick it can be. Well, Mr. Chode Postle, you put some pictures up trying to show everybody what a Rockwell tester look like and the anvils look like and how HRC test is ran. I'm going to put in some pictures right now. I'm going to put in some pictures of the anvil being used. I'm going to put in some pictures of, I'll do the anvil right now. Put in a picture of the thicknesses, how they correspond, how the thickness of the blade, how thick a blade has to be for Rockwell A, B, and C scales. I'll put that in now. And now, Mr. This is why I don't do edge retention tests, because he decided to shit on us doing edge retention tests and start calling out cutting sisal rope, which is what Pete does. So he decided to try to shit on Pete. He said, this is why I don't do, because it's using a human hand and it's not fixed and it's dirty sisal rope, blah, blah, blah. It says he doesn't do edge retention tests. I'm going to put a picture in now. So full of shit. Maybe you're just too old, bro. Maybe that memory's starting to slip. You forgot you did that a few years ago. And then he goes on to talk about how he talks about his relative real-world use, which me, Outpost 76, Tom, and Pete, and everybody else has never proclaimed this to be a scientific endeavor. We've always said this is just real-world use. Always. My tests are real. The way I sharpen, the stones I use, the cardboard I use, it's all real-world stuff. But okay. So there we go. That's all I'm going to say about it, man. Like, this is like fucking shooting old Yeller, man. It's like old dog needs to just go down. You just need to go down. Get out the game, man. You're like, oh man. It's like, you're like watching an old fighter come back trying to fight. It's like watching Roy Jones Jr. trying to fight in 2019. It's just sad, man. You ain't got it anymore. So, now that I've taken up 17 minutes of your time, what is this test about today? Well, first off, how this test happened, a big part of how this test happened is I started a Patreon. I had a bunch of guys asking me on YouTube and some on Instagram that I should start a Patreon. I'm blessed. I have guys donating knives all the time, helping me out, so I never really felt the need for it. When I do tests and I get knives from guys and I sharpen them and I send them back, I always send everything fully insured. So usually you're looking at $50-$60 a month worth of shipping and stuff like that. It costs, $15, depending on the package, $15, $20, $25, $20, $22 to ship the knives back, cardboard and all that. So guys were like, look, should you pay? Anyway, I did a Patreon. It's supersteelsteve at patreon.com. If anybody feels like going in there and doing that, I thoroughly appreciate it more than you know. If you don't worry about it. I'm making do just fine. But I really appreciate it. I have like six Patreon supporters. I have I think it's like $50 a month so far is what they've donated, and which is fucking badass. So I put out a post because I want to get everybody. It doesn't tell me their like screen name. So 3 guys responded back. He goes by the Homemade Disease, the Best Virginia, and Dually DC or Dual LY DC. Those are 3 of the 6 or 7 Patreon supporters I have. I want to thank you guys personally for donating your hard-earned fucking money to me to help me with the edge retention testing, with the shipping, with the cardboard. I got to buy some new stones soon because I fucking wore them out. Because I don't just do the testing. When I get a knife from somebody, I have to reprofile it usually. Then I reprofile it, sharpen it for the test. And then afterward, I have to resharpen it and then send it back. So that I also do a lot of free sharpening for guys. If I can't help them over, a message or something, help them to sharpen their own knives. So I beat up on these stones a lot. I gotta get new stones, so that'll help out with that. But also what it helped out with, since I saw this support, well, no, I started this before the Patreon. I decided to start it before the Patreon, but when the Patreon happened and guys started doing this, I total green light for something that I decided I wanted to do. Now, in one of my last videos, I said, look, I'm not a knife maker. I've never done a heat treat, but I'm a chef. And that's where my understanding and research and reading is where my understanding of metallurgy and the heat treat process goes. I have friends that are knife makers as well. So after I saw this outpouring of support from my fellow brethren out there in the knife community, I decided to, again, like I always do, is put my money where my mouth is. So I thought to myself, how can I, because there's still this fucking, I can't, because of the misinformation of certain people, there's still this debate, that's not even a debate, about whether or not HRC affects wear resistance or edge retention. And it does. It's just harder materials have higher wear resistance than softer materials. Diamonds will last longer than chalk. It's that simple. But it still keeps going on because guys keep saying, oh, it's the heat treat. It could be this, it could be that, it could be this, it could be that. And it just, everyone keeps sidestepping the conversation that if you take the same steel and you heat treat it to a higher Rockwell, the higher Rockwell, take two knives, you treat them to a higher, take two knives of the same steel and you heat treat one to 65 and one to 60 HRC, and you run them through the same cut test, the one with 65 HRC is going to outcut and have better edge retention than the one at 60. It's what I've been trying to say. It's what everyone's been trying to say, but all these fucking retards out the woodwork want to come by and try to make it this mystical thing that, oh, it depends on the heat treat and the steel. Well, no fucking shit, it depends on the heat treat and the steel. My point is, all other things considered, the same steel at a higher Rockwell will have better edge retention. So I thought to myself, as the newly appointed captain of HRC testing, if I am the newly appointed captain of HRC police, well then motherfuckers, I need to figure out a way and make a test to isolate Rockwell. Well, because one of the big debates everybody does is, oh, well, you know, you're testing two different knives from two different companies. And, oh, the heat treat could be different. Oh, the blade geometry can be different. The edge geometry is always the same. Keep in mind, which is all that really matters when we're cutting cardboard. But that's what everybody loves to bring up. Could be this, could be that, could be this. How am I going to remedy that? This is how. This is what's left. That says 1084. This is about 4mm stock of, it was a 4-foot bar of 1084 steel that I bought at my local knife shop. Old Town Cutlery, Incoming, Georgia, about 30 minutes from me. Go check out their website. No, I'm not affiliated with them. No, they don't know I'm doing this. No, I don't get any kickbacks. Go check them out. It's a phenomenal, owned by two knife guys and a knife maker. One's a knife maker. Phenomenal guys. Their shop's amazing. All the cases are open. You can finger fuck all the knives. If you go to their website, all their prices are they're the same as Blade HQ or any knife center. Go there, order from them. If they have a comment section, put balls in the comment section, because next time I walk in there, I don't know if they know I have a YouTube channel quite yet, so I want to see if anybody does that. If I'm going to ask them about it. They're an awesome company. I'm not like affiliated, but they're just a badass group of guys, and I want to support them. They're my local knife shop. But like I said, one of the owners is a knife maker. So what are you talking about, Steve? This was a 4-foot bar. I bought some 1084 steel. Steve, what did you do with the 1084 steel? I went out and I built me a small heat treat oven. And I made some knives. Ignore the atrocious grinding. These are my second and third knives ever made. I've ever done in my entire life. These were bar stock, like this. I took these two knives. I'll show you pictures right before the cut test. I took these and I made the pattern. I tried to do like a little kind of a Santoku style, because I'm a chef, why not? Made the pattern, took these, normalized them, and then heat treated them. These have a double temper and a double cryo, a dry ice, a deep freeze, but a cryo we'll say. Double temper, double cryo, and as you can see, found some heat treat recipes. One says low HRC, one says high HRC. These will be going out for Rockwell testing after this test. I don't know what it is yet because I don't want anybody to think that I'm fucking with the results. But so this steel should be somewhere around 58 to 60 HRC. And this steel should be somewhere between 64, 65 HRC. I followed, again, guys, there you go. So I retract my previous statement saying that I've never done a heat treat and I've never made knives, because now I've officially made knives and done a heat treat. Like I said before, this is not complicated. It's just precise. And matter of fact, with a simple steel like 1084, it's not even that precise. The only difference between something like this and something much more exotic like Van X or something, it just gets more precise. This is a very simple steel. It's very easy to heat treat. I built a forge. I actually did the very, very first one, which is right here. I did this one, still has decarb on the handle. I actually did this one with a charcoal forge. I did that one with charcoal. Then I went and built a propane one, or what's called Matte Pro Gas. There we go. So there we go, guys. Your boy has made some knives. This is in huge thanks, and a huge part of this is because of my Patreon supporters. Thank you guys so much for donating your hard-earned fucking money to me to continue this testing. This is part of the fruits that it's labored, and it's going to go forward. I've got a small heat treat oven now. I'm going to be using this to do all kinds of testing and all kinds and going on in the future. Hopefully, I'll be able to save up and get an actual even heat oven and then be able to do stainless and stuff like that. But there you go. That's where your hard-earned dollars went. I bought steel. This is about a 3-day project. Like I said, double temper, double cryo. Here they are. So, what this is. Now, what does this mean now that I'm 26 minutes in? Very simple. Not only is this all 1084 steel, this is cut from the same bar. Okay? So there's no question of composition. It's the same steel cut from the same bar. Heat treated by the same guy, ground by the same guy. If you're answering your questions, yes, I wet ground these. There was no hot grinding. Blades never even came close. I figured out a way to get the blades to keep them super cool. Cold, actually. So they were all wet ground. These knives had the same blade geometry. They had the same edge geometry. They have the same heat treater. They both went through a double temper and a double cryo with the same materials, same grinder, same everything. So these knives, the only difference between these two knives, only difference, is the Rockwell hardness. I have devised a test now where I have completely isolated Rockwell hardness. There is nothing different between these two knives. And I will even show you, they're about 12 thousandths behind the edge. I will even show you in the video in a second. I'll get a choil shot and I'll show you guys these are ground identically. They are identically ground. So same heat treat, same guy, same grinder, same steel from the same bar. This is 1085. There's no carbide to speak of, really. The only carbide that's going to be here is literally from iron and carbon. That's it. There's might have 2 or 3% carbide, which is like nothing. That's literally just, this is bare bone steel. There's no carbide in this. This is a strictly pure HRC test. So I hope you're excited because I'm fucking excited. So there we go. 28 minutes into this bitch. Without further ado, let's get to testing.
the dog that reminds me to open Hell's Gate and watch the Reaper catching all the souls while they're sleeping. Oh, it's a perfect night. And Hell's Gate opened up to my right, but I got you by my side. Let it pull us into the embedded horizon. Let the wind blow from left to right. Something about the dog that reminds me to open Hell's Gate and watch the Reaper catching all the souls while they're sleeping. Oh, it's a perfect night. Something about the dog that reminds me to open Hell's Gate and watch the Reaper catching all the souls while they're sleeping. Oh, it's a perfect night.
How the fuck could I fucking forget? Real quick interlude before we end this. All the music you just heard was from a gentleman by the name of Logan. If y'all like his music, it's going to be in the description. Like on all my videos, he's been doing the music. He's an artist and been letting me use his music for the last fucking 20 goddamn videos I've done. So if you like his music, support the young guy. He's hella fucking talented. He goes by Logan Music. Link in the description below. I'm so sorry, Logan. I don't know how I fucking forgot that. Back to the video. Cheers, guys. Hold on. We got to do a shot for this one. Before I read you the results, I don't think I'll do it here. Stay till the end of the video, and I'm gonna put I'll put some video in or pictures of the Fords that I built. Let me give a real quick shout out, huge shout out to Outdoors 555. I went after I did my first heat treat with this knife with the charcoal, and I realized that I could do it, and I could get it hard. I googled high temperature bricks to build like an oven, and his video actually popped up on my Google, and his idea was even simpler than mine. So the Fords that I made is literally a copy of the little simple one that he made. I was going to use even more bricks. His was even easier. I don't even know why I didn't think of it. So big shout out to him for that video, and then the follow-up video for how to tweak it, because I watched that as well. So it's a real. I'll put the pictures up at the end so you guys can see it. I think I might even have a video when I was heat treating, and I'll show the process at the end if you guys watch. I'm kind of dumbfounded right now. This is I'm sorry if I'm stuttering. Hold on, let's cheers real quick. Let's real quick. Motherfuckers, I hope y'all having a great fucking Friday night. I know I am. Fuck yeah. Remember the first time you ever had a shot? I almost just spilled it. Hold on, right there, look. You see that? Right there? Horse shit, who does it? So, I'm fucking floored. I'm fucking floored right now. Okay, look. I didn't know what to expect. It's 1085 or 1084 steel. This is a super simple steel. That's why I thought it'd be perfect. And it's easy to heat treat. So, I didn't know what to expect from it, right? I've never had a simple steel really hard before. So I didn't know what to expect. I'm sorry, guys. I'm fucking stuttering, speechless right now, because I'm wait till I tell you what these things cut. I'm surprised. I'm floored. I'm kind of impressed with myself a little bit. Not impressed, but I'm really happy that what I did worked. I got buddies that are knife makers. K-Knife Switzerland being one of them. You know, he's super nice guy, and you know, if I ever had a question, he'd answer it for me. Wow, I almost took my finger off right there. Wow, fuck me. Sorry, guys. I'm fucking stoned right now. Cheers. What I'm trying to say is this is a super simple steel. It's nothing but carbon and iron, really. Whatever impurities are in the steel. I didn't expect a lot. I was hoping 100 feet. My goal was if these steels were done right, or at least the high HRC one, if I could get 100, you gotta remember, guys, I'm like, y'all, I'm used to production knives. Okay, I've only dealt with one custom, which was from K-Knife Switzerland, that 4V shard that just cut for ages. Okay, it's the only time he's an experienced knife maker and heat treater. Okay, he's got very good setup and he's very smart. Sean from Triple B is the same way, but I've never experienced one of his knives, but I'm sure it's just as good. So you gotta remember, guys, I'm just this is my second and third time ever heat treating a knife. Okay, I did this one first, just as a proof of concept to see if I could get it hard, and as a real simple hardness test. What most knife makers will do with simple steel like this is they'll grab a file. Files are usually about 65 HRC, like metal files, and they'll run it over the blade. You'll go like this to see if it scratches the blade, it's less than 65, and if it kind of doesn't, it's harder. Well, this knife was never, I didn't even temper this knife. I just wanted to see if I could get it to a pre-temper hardness, and you can't even see it. The file just skated off this. It didn't scratch it at all. So I knew that this knife was somewhere around 65 HRC. So I knew out of the quench with this 10, and it's from the same bar stock as this. I knew out of the quench that I was doing it right, because the steel was coming at it around what I'm gauging 65 HRC based on that file test. That it's a common thing amongst knife makers and blacksmiths, especially when you're using simple steel. So I knew I could get it hard. Right? Then the next step with these two was following a tempering and a cryo procedure, right? So I didn't know what to expect. The reason I'm saying this is because I'm just like you guys at home. I've only dealt with production knives. That's it. Production knives. That, you know, I've never had in an EDC setting, cutting cardboard. Like my chef knife's a little different, but cutting cardboard, a really simple steel that's very hard, right? And that also went through a good heat treat. I know I did my temper, I did the double temper and the double cryo, and this one still, the file, on this one, the file just skated across, didn't even really scratch it, and this knife, it dug in. So I know this one was softer than this one. That's all I know. I know I'm kind of rambling right now, guys, but I didn't expect what happened. I'm fucking 6 minutes in and I didn't fucking... Okay, here we go. I'm just kind of floored by this right now. I'm kind of taken back. All right, so we'll do the low HRC first, because both of these just shocked the fucking shit out of me. So for the record, both of these were sharpened just like all the other knives in my test. They're both at 15 degrees per side. They're both, they follow the same progression, which is a DMT coarse, a DMT fine, till there's a burn side, and then 10 passes on a 1 micron strop. A 1 micron strop, 10 passes per side. That's it. Same progression every knife goes through. The same edge geometry too, and the same blade geometry. They're both about 12 thousandths behind the edge, I think. So for the low HRC, this is somewhere 59, 60. Maybe a little higher than 60 based on this. Might be closer to 60, 61. Fine edge holding. This cut 111.6 feet. Total working edge was 135.4. This cut 100. So here, I'm like, I don't even know how to say this. I'm like so surprised. Let's do the high one. Here's the high one. This is around 65 HRC after the tempers and everything. This cut a fine edge, cut 142.5 feet. And then for total working edge, it cut 182.9. Let that sink in, because I'm trying to process this right now. I kept like, and I really, okay, all right, like, okay, so here's okay, HRC doesn't matter, right? Okay, here we go. Let's take the low HRC. This is probably, I shot for 59 to 60 HRC based on the temper. I'm thinking it might be closer to 61, which is fine. It's softer than this one, is all I know. So the difference in fine edge holding between the lower HRC knife and the higher HRC knife was 28%, 111 to 142. The working edge between the low HRC and the high HRC was 35%. Point blank period, guys. So same stock, same steel, same edge geometry, same everything, same heat treater. Dumbass redneck over here heat treating shit with a propane torch, some bricks, and some canola oil and dry ice and alcohol, okay? There's a 35% increase in 1084 steel between roughly 61 and 65 HRC. There you go. Here's what blew me away. I knew there would be a difference between these. I knew the harder steel would come out on top. That's not what's surprising me. What's surprising me are those numbers. Because if you guys don't know, I had to go back and check my Google Docs. This low HRC knife, this one that I did 2 420 degree tempers with, okay, hot, fairly hot. This outcut, remember guys, this is 1084 steel, okay? This has like no carbide. There's no chromium, there's no vanadium, there's no moly, there's no tungsten, there's nothing. Just carbon, iron, and whatever impurities are in the steel. That's it. Just phosphorus and sulfur maybe. You know what I mean? And the 10 class series are not super high grade stuff, man. This is not like high end stuff. This is just your run of the mill, literally 1084. Okay. This outcut for fine edge and working edge. No, for fine edge. I'm sorry, for fine edge. 440C, BD1, the Doug Ritter M390, the Ace Iona M390, the Para 3 S30V, the Para 3 Milli, D2 Rat 1, D2 Steel Wheel, H1 Saw, S35 from the Best Tech Tercel, Case CV steel, case knives, their steel is 1084. Their CV steel is 1084. This outcut that, their 1084. This outcut GEC's 1084. This outcut the Carter neck knife at with white steel, white number 2 steel. This outcut, and then this outcut all the rest of the D2. The 2 Rat 2s, the Cut Shack, and the Ganzo D2 at 62 Rockwell. Right here. Okay? All of that. The high HRC outcut all of that, plus for fine edge holding, it was tied with the S110 V-Manix. It outcut S90 V-Manix. It outcut the D2 Hest, the DPX Hest in D2. It cut almost exactly the same as the K390 Urban in fine edge holding. The AUS 8 Rat 1, the AUS 10 2U knife, 154 cm on the Griptilian. All the M390. This 1084 steel outcut for working edge all of the M390, 20CV, and 204P I've ever tested. All of it. I think bar one. Bar the Buck Marksman in 20CV. That outcut this by a little bit. For fine edge, it outcut all the M390. I'm sorry, it outcut all the M390 in fine edge holding, and most of it except but the Masserin Nimrod, it outcut the S35 VN in fine edge, all the XHP in fine edge, and the 14C28N Blur. It cut almost exactly the same as that. As far as working edge goes, this outcut damn near outcut all the M390. This outcut in working edge 90% of the steels that I've tested, other than Crewwear, Slepliner, S110V, S90V. I mean, I'm sorry guys if I'm fucking quiet. I'm just fucking floored. I had no fucking clue. I was hoping for 100 foot, man. If I could get 100 foot out of 1084 steel, I would be stoked. I would be fucking stoked, man. If I can make a little neck knife like this, little EDC knife like this, fixed blade, and get 100 foot out of something simple like that. I'm just kind of, I had to run it twice, to test twice to see, but I got the same results. They were within 2%. Yeah, man. HRC doesn't matter, right? HRC doesn't matter. Here's an interesting thing that I noticed, though. I want to point this out now that I'm 13 minutes in. The Carter neck knife. Okay, that Carter Perfect EDC knife. It was that neck knife that I borrowed from Nero Knives. I want to bring that up, okay? 1084 steel literally has anywhere between 0.84 and 0.92, I think, percent carbon, and that's it. The steel that the Carter neck knife is made out of is called Shirogami No. 2. It's white 2 steel, okay? That has literally 1% carbon, a little over like 1.10 to 1.2, I think. It has a significant amount more carbon, technically. That's the only difference between Shirogami, and it's very pure steel. There's very little impurity. This has a lot of junk in it. This is shitty ass, it has phosphorus and sulfur, things that aren't really ideal. Maybe I got a good batch. The Japanese Shirogami steel is just like the Sandvik iron, very pure, okay? But that's the biggest difference. Other than that, it's just carbon content. And that carbon content can help form carbides, right? Carbon, steel, carbides, okay. Here's what I think is interesting, is Nero told me, per what he was told and per that site, is that neck knife in Shirogami No. 2 steel was at 62 HRC. So, we're going to ballpark here. This knife is probably somewhere around 61, let's say. This steel is somewhere around 65. That Carter neck knife is right in the middle, somewhere around at 62. For working edge, I'm not going to bring up fine edge holding because, guys could be like, oh, your hair is thinner or thicker or whatever. Let's just talk working edge, right? Because that you can see. It's cutting printer paper against the grain. There's no fake in that, okay? So if you look at working edge, low HRC did 135. The Carter neck knife, this is at 60-61. At 62 HRC, the Carter neck knife did 159.1 feet. And then at high HRC, about 65 HRC, this knife did 182.9. So can everybody see with me the gradual, very similar steels, very in their composition, okay? The Shirogami has more carbon, but other than that, and that's only if it's utilized properly during the heat treat, they're very similar steels, okay? Nothing but carbon. There's no carbide formers is what I'm trying to say. There's no carbide formers there to give anyone an advantage. So they're all just carbon and iron, okay? Very simple steels. You've got 60-61, and it literally follows a trajectory, just like this, okay? So the low HRC 1084 versus the Carter Shirogami No. 2, the Carter had an 18% increase in edge retention, and then this versus the Carter had a 15% increase in edge retention. So you see what I'm saying? And then this versus it, the highest, so you had the middle versus the lowest was an 18% increase. The highest versus the middle was a 15% increase, and then the highest versus the lowest was a 35% increase. Can you see? I don't know if everybody can see this, but picture a graph in your head that it's a very good comparison because you're seeing a literal straight upward graph just like this with literally only HRC in effect because there's no carbides, there's nothing that can affect the Shirogami versus the 1084. That has more carbon, which it can get harder, and it can form some more carbides, but if the Shirogami was at 65, it would probably cut longer. But I'm just saying, as a general comparison, you can literally see a straight upward trend on a graph just like that, based solely off simple steel and HRC. Mic drop. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. I have nothing else to say. I'm sorry, guys, if I'm fucking taken back. Thank you to all the Patreons, man. Thank you to everybody, man. Thank you to all the Patreons that are donating me some money so I can go and buy the steel and make myself a little oven and do this stuff. There's more for this to come. I'm going to keep doing it. I still have the M390 test coming. That's going to be a live stream once I get all these sharpened and reprofiled. I've got a bunch of other tests going on. But yeah, there you go. Nail in the coffin. I'm done. That's it. Okay? That's it. I don't want it. Where is it? Hold on. Okay? Agent Balls. Right here. Okay? Captain of the HRC Police. There you go. Low HRC steel, same stock, same grind, same guy heat treating, same edge geometry, same blade geometry, same fucking everything. High HRC cuts better than low HRC. Point blank, period. I don't want to hear it anymore. That's it. I've ended it. I've deaded it. I've thrown it. It's it. We're done. So, y'all have a great fucking night. Stay tuned after this. I'm going to put up some pictures and video of my oven and whatever. I took some pictures while I was doing the heat treat so I could remember everything. So I'll put that up there for y'all to see. Fucking rock on. Cheers, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you have a good fucking Friday. I'm out. For dry ice, for grinding, and finally, the newest addition to the caveman knife making process. Hold on. Let's see if I can get this going. Motherfuckers! Cheers! And so it begins. Project number 1 is normalizing these motherfuckers. And then I might even heat treat them tonight. We'll see if I have time. If not, they're getting heat treat and ground tomorrow. It's so hot! Using the heat that's coming out of my door to heat up the oil. Watch. About 130, 40 degrees right there. Oh yeah, it's alive. That what's it called? Dry ice cryo right there. Let's see where we're at. Let's go to Celsius. Let's see. Negative 45 degrees Celsius. Woo! Chilly.